It is given that on any general triangle, outside the triangle, parallelograms are constructed. You can construct two parallelograms on any two of the three sides of triangle. So let us say this is a parallelogram number 1. We have constructed on AB, and this is parallelogram number 2, which is constructed on AC. And the claim is area of 1 plus area of 2 happens to be area of parallelogram constructed on BC. So what is the proof? It is the area entrapped between parallel lines. That is the principle. So if we consider base AB, then area of quadrilateral ABPQ. Now this notation, the names can be little different. Can you tell me, is this the point D yesterday also? This was the point D yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was this E?
Same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, same.
Was this
Sir,
F?
Sir,
P
T
and Q
was,
are,
sir, T and S are interchanged.
yes, sir, and P and Q are also interchanged.
P and Q also interchanged.
Yes.
This is supposed to be S, and that is supposed to be T. P and Q also I should interchange.
No, sir. No, sir.
No,
No,
That's
sir.
sir.
I think
Actually, it will be fine even with the.
ABPQ was our parallelogram. That is what I think. Anyway, just to make sure that your proof and my proof tallies, we need to have same notation. So this area, let us start writing. Area of ABPQ, that is 1, is going to be equal to 2 times area of triangle ABK, because same base, same height. 2 times area of triangle ABK, correct? But then area of triangle ABK, because this base is same and corresponding height, if we consider distance between these two parallel lines, then these two bases are equal. Therefore, 2 times triangle area is equal to area of a parallelogram BDEF. Same base, same height, except that this is triangle, but it is 2 times triangle, therefore parallel. Similar working we can do on the other side. Area of ACRT happens to be equal to 2 times area of triangle ACK. Which is equal to area of CDES. Okay. Now, if we add these two areas, that is area of ABPQ plus area of ACRT, we should get addition of these two areas. BDEF plus CDES. However, BDFE and BDEF, how can I write? BDEF and CDES add up to BCSF, and hence Pappus theorem is true. Okay. Now, next challenge for you is prove. Let me change color. Challenge different, then color also must be different. Prove Pythagoras using Pappus. I give you some time because it is similar. So you prove Pythagoras theorem. Of course, Pythagoras theorem is for right angle triangle using Pappus theorem. So if we want to write down proof of Pythagoras theorem using Pappus theorem, then the prerequisite of Pappus need to be satisfied. What was the prerequisite of Pappus theorem? Number one, parallelogram on AB and AC. So instead of parallelogram, you are drawing squares. Fair enough. Second requirement, PQ, ray PQ, intersection, ray RT is K. Check whether you are doing it in your construction. KA equals BF equals CS. This is to be proved. Whatever KA you get here by joining those ends of the square, you are supposed to copy that KA over here, BF and CS. So, are you doing that? Check. Then, after doing that, is parallelogram on BC, parallelogram on BC. So, whether Ka is equal to BF or Ka is equal to CS, why? Why? Need to be proved. And once you prove that, and another thing, okay, parallelogram, what we are supposed to prove, parallelogram BC, you are going to say that it is square, which implies you need to prove Ka perpendicular to BC. Proved? Question. So you are supposed to prove this, and you are supposed to prove this, these two things. Then you can apply Pappus theorem to prove Pythagoras theorem. See, a square plus b square is equal to c square is very easy to write. But you should be able to prove that this area is a square, this area is b square, and hence this area is c square. That is how you are going to end up with Pythagoras. Unless you prove 1 and 2, you are not authorized to apply Pappus theorem. Let us see. Let us finish this very quickly now. If it is a Pythagoras configuration and we are supposed to draw right angle at A, good. Extend up to K. So this is what? A, B, C. Therefore, this is small c, this is small c, this is small b, this is small b, and therefore this is going to be rectangle, and it is very easy to prove that this is also small c, correct? And therefore triangle KAS is congruent to triangle BCA. Triangle KAS is congruent to triangle BCA by SAS. Okay, and therefore KA is equal to BC. And then we are constructing a square here. That means KA is equal to BC is equal to what names we had given here? BF and CS imply, but BC is,
Sir, we have to prove that it should be perpendicular.
yeah, this is part 1 I am doing. Okay, BC is equal to BF is equal to BCS. So part 1 is done. Because of congruency, triangle KAS is congruent to triangle BCA. Now, if we do angle chasing, then this is going to be X because of congruency. This is going to be X and this is going to be Y. That means this is also Y, and therefore if we extend this line, then this angle is vertically opposite of this angle, therefore it will be also Y, and hence if this is Y and this is X, then might as well this is perpendicular. Okay, so you have to write it properly. Therefore AD perpendicular BC. So both the requirements of Pappus are satisfied. Therefore area of square number 1, which is C square, plus area of square number 2, which is B square, must be equal to area of square number 3, which is A square. Pythagoras theorem proof. I don't know this is which proof, I mean which number proof you are studying. At least 8-10 proofs you must have done in 8 standard. I don't know, but keep counting. Have you all understood this? अरे सगळ्यांना समजले का?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shall I do it further? Give it to you. Okay, next is we are in the business of proving Pythagoras theorem. So, do you know Heron's formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Delta square is equal to S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. Prove Pythagoras. Using Heron's. Now, if I give you a statement like this and ask you to do it yourself, that means I am comparing you with Heron. Do you realize that? Will you get any chance of comparing yourself with these mathematicians anywhere in the world? Of course, they are very old, a couple of 100 years before they must have done it, but that is not your fault. You are born now, that is fine, but then the environment is exactly same, and you are exposed to the same environment, and we are checking whether you can do it independently or not. If not, fair enough. Those guys are great. They are mathematicians. We have started learning things now. They must have spent years together in learning these things, and they must have found it out at the age of 30, 40, 50. We don't know. But then that is the opportunity that we are providing you in M. Prakash Institute, where you are competing now with Heron. You were competing yesterday with Pappus. The day before yesterday, you were competing with Ptolemy. Also, yesterday you competed with Fermat. They are great mathematicians. Now, the idea is going to be very simple. We have a triangle, right triangle, and if you want a square plus b square is equal to c square, then it should be like this: C, A, B. Therefore, A, B, and C. So, you have to calculate area of this triangle in two different ways because Heron's formula talks about area. So one way is base into height, that is AB by 2. You can square this, that is delta square, which is equal to S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus. So measuring the same quantity in two different ways is the principle with which we will get an identity. So this is A square B square upon 4 is equal. Now what is S? A plus B plus C divided by 2. What is S minus A? S minus A is B plus C minus A divided by 2. What is S minus B? A plus C minus B divided by 2. And what is S minus C? A plus B minus C divided by 2. Correct? This implies 4A square B square. 2 1, this 2 1, this 4 1, this 4 1. So 4A square B square is equal to product of these 4 brackets. And in binomial theorem, multinomial theorem, we have learned how to maybe expand. So let me try and do it very quickly. If I take these 2 brackets, then it is B plus C plus A, B plus C minus A. So it is B plus C bracket square minus A square. That is the product of first 2. The product of second 2 is A square minus B minus C bracket square. That is A minus B plus C, A plus B minus. Okay, it will be 4A square B square. So now what we have to do is we have to actually multiply them. So A square into B plus C bracket square minus A fourth minus B minus C bracket square into B plus C bracket square plus A square inside bracket B minus C bracket square. Now whatever it comes to, we are eventually going to get A square plus B square is equal to C square, provided our calculations are correct. Okay, let us see. Is there any shortcut by which I can do this? I can club these two. Okay, this is A square inside bracket B plus C bracket square minus A fourth minus B minus C into B plus C is B square minus C square bracket square plus A square into B minus C bracket square. Okay. Therefore, what we should do now is we have to expand, and simplify. If we are lucky, don't make any mistake in expanding, we will get correct answer. Let us try and do it. A square B square plus A square 2 times A square BC plus A square C square. Correct? Minus A fourth minus B fourth minus C fourth plus 2B square C square. That is the expansion of this plus A square B square plus A square C square minus 2A square BC. Oh, this is good. 2A square BC, 2A square BC gone. And what we are left with is very nice quantity, which is A square B. Okay, A square B square. Okay, let me change the notation. A square B square, A square B square, and A square B square. They are not cancelled out, but if we put everything in RHS, that is 0, then we get, or shall we put everything in LHS? I think so. We should do everything LHS. LHS. So A fourth plus B fourth plus C fourth. Those are the minus quantities from this side. Then plus twice A square B square. And that is the remaining part of these two guys. Then minus 2 A square C square minus 2 B square C square. So they are so nice with us. Okay, so I think this should be a square of A square plus B square minus C square bracket square. If we expand, we will get A fourth, B fourth, C fourth plus 2A square B square minus 2A square C square minus 2B square C square should be equal to 0. And if the perfect square, if the square is 0, then the whatever inside bracket is also 0. Implies A square plus B square is equal to C square. Pythagoras theorem is true. Okay, so huge algebra. Because we can find out same area in two different ways, you keep doing algebraic calculations and you will get the result. Now I want to demonstrate what Tirtha has done is you do a small change and use exactly same principle, measure the same area in two different ways. But then how the algebraic calculations reduce substantially? Let me demonstrate you that. Maybe proof 2. The triangle was having hypotenuse A. Is that right? C. So let us call this side C, this is small a, this is small b. Therefore, this was our given triangle capital C, capital A, capital B. Now what you do is you copy this triangle to the other side and make it an isosceles triangle. It does not look isosceles, so I must improve my sketching. Okay. So if it is same triangle copied the other side, this side is also B and this side is also C. This was 90-90, therefore it is collinear, and therefore suppose this point is D, then we have triangle ABD with us, which is isosceles, right? So only one adjustment, copy the right angle triangle again. So what happens now? What is perimeter? 2B plus 2C. Therefore, S is equal to B plus C. Right? What is S minus A? Okay, now S minus A, I should not say A. S minus one of the three sides. Say S minus AB. So S minus AB is B plus C. How should we write? S is this. Then this is first bracket of Heron's. Second bracket of Heron's is S minus A, which in our case is going to be B plus C minus C. So B. Third bracket S minus B in Heron's formula. If we consider this side, this is our first side, this is our second side. So again, S minus B is also going to be equal to B. Now this is little different what I am writing here, and the third side is 2B. So B plus C minus 2B is equal to C minus B. That is the third side. Area using Heron's area square of ABD is equal to B plus C, that is S, B, that is S minus A, B, that is S minus B, C minus B. Okay, and what is this area of triangle here? 2B into A upon 2. So AB. Okay, so we have applied Heron's formula. Then what do we get? We get AB is equal to B square. AB square because AB is area, we are doing delta square. So AB A square B square is equal to, this is B square, and C plus B, C minus B, it's C square minus B square, correct? You can cancel this B square from both sides and you end up getting Pythagoras. A square plus B square is equal to C square. So by doing the reflection of the given triangle, we have avoided lot of algebra. So little additional thinking and you can avoid lot of algebra. That is what is the demonstration in this particular proof of Pythagoras theorem using Heron's formula. I think Parth also has done it in much better way using RS property of area and using Heron's formula. Again, some calculations are reduced. Good, very good. So I pause the video for you to understand this. One more way of looking at Pythagoras theorem. Suppose we have a right angle triangle. Let me make it 56%. Okay. Suppose we have a right angle triangle. And we have in center eccentre configuration where I am considering something opposite to A, then the internal angle bisectors will intersect at I. External angle bisectors will intersect at I1. Right? So if you draw perpendicular from I on BC, this is your point D. If you draw it from I on AB, this is your point F. If you draw perpendicular from I1 on BC, it is D1. That is the thing which we require. Or if we draw it on here, it is F1. I1 F1. So what is that? What is ID1? ID? What is I1? D1? R. How much is BD? Distance BD? I want to check once whether you all remember these distances well.
S minus B.
S minus B. And how much is distance BD1?
S minus C.
S minus C.
S minus C. Okay. So if I give you this information, prove Pythagoras theorem using this information. Now this is right angle triangle ABC. I is in center, I1 is eccentre, and we are dropping perpendiculars. So the observation you need to do in this diagram and get the final result. The final result is going to be A square plus C square is equal to B square, Pythagoras theorem. Because in this, right now in this configuration, hypotenuse is small c. I think you all should be able to do this in 4 or 5 minutes. So I should wait. Let us check. Area delta is equal to small a into small c upon 2, which is also equal to r into s, but r is s minus b. S into s minus b. But s is a plus b plus c upon 2, and s minus b is a plus c minus b upon 2. Good. Therefore, this is a plus c bracket square minus b square upon 4 is equal to AC upon 2. 2 gone. Therefore, twice AC is equal to a square plus c square plus twice AC minus b square is equal to a square plus c square is equal to b square. Pythagoras is proved. Instead of s into s minus b, if you would have written r1 into s minus a, then also you will get, instead of r1 you should put s minus c. That will be another proof using in radius and x radius. Pythagoras, because these lengths are in general true, when it becomes right angle triangle, the in radius, this is square, IDBF is a square, I1 D1 BF1 is a square, and therefore we can exploit that. Because it is square, some s minus b is going to be equal to smaller, some s minus c is going to be equal to r1, and this is the work which we have done opposite to a. We can do exactly similar work opposite to c and opposite to b, and every time you will get Pythagoras theorem, because you are measuring the same area in two different ways.
Sir, we can do it by R1 into S minus A also, right?
Yes.
Replace it.
R1 into s minus a also. Okay. Now let me give you one more proof of Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras. By the great Euclid. Euclid's proof of Pythagoras theorem. Euclid is supposed to be the mathematician who first organized geometry, which was developed in the world. That this should come first, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this. Whatever you use in the next should be proved using the previously proved theorems or axioms. So the structure of geometry was created by Euclid 2000 years before. But Euclid was after Pythagoras. Therefore, Euclid also felt like proving Pythagoras theorem by his method. By the way, how much similarity do you know? You must be knowing very good similarity. So, are you aware that in right angle triangle, if we drop perpendicular, there are three similar triangles?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know this configuration.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just for checking whether you have it with you or not. Am I supposed to keep it or am I supposed to leave it? Okay, it is going to be long talking discussion type of proof, and I cannot really put you in the environment where Euclid must have done this because it is evolution of proof. Now, can you find out area of equilateral triangle if the side is given to you?
Yes, sir.
I think so. Does everybody know the formula?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Very good. So now every time we will start with a small right angle triangle. Right angled at A. Okay. Now let me see if I can make few copies of this because I will keep needing them, and I think I should be able to keep making copies of that. Array. sorry. Definite integral kutumala.
Sir, you by mistakenly paste.
Yeah, I have not copied and directly pasted. So whatever was in the memory got pasted. Copy, paste, 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 paste. This Microsoft whiteboard is hopeless. Okay. Maybe I will require these many right angle triangles. Okay. Okay. Everything is getting recorded. Now, let us work on this first one. So let me call this as first. If I draw equilateral triangle here, 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 and also equilateral triangle here. This side is small c, this side is small b, this side is small a. Correct? So can you tell me the area of equilateral triangle 1, and can you tell me area of equilateral triangle 2? What is area of equilateral triangle 1?
Root 3 by 4 c square.
That was C square.
4 c
Square.
correct? Very good. What will be the area of triangle 3?
Root 3 by
Root
4
3 by 4 a
square.
square.
3 by 4 A square.
3 by 4 a square. So, if I take these two triangles in the numerator, what will be the two? So, what am I doing here is area of 1 plus area of 2 divided by area of 3. Okay, so this is root 3 by 4.
B square.
D square.
Do you understand this calculation? No issue. So root 3 will get cancelled from everywhere and you will get b square plus c square upon a square. Is that
Yes, sir.
now? And if Pythagoras theorem is true, so if Pythagoras theorem is true, then this ratio is going to be equal to
1.
Is that right? Because b square plus c square is equal to a square. What does it mean? If Pythagoras theorem is true, then sum of area 1 plus sum of area 1 and 2 is equal to area 2. Check whether you understand. Okay, now for equilateral triangle it works. Let us draw another good figure. Say, suppose we draw isosceles triangle. And suppose this angle is x, this angle is x, and this is 180 minus 2x. Okay, and I maintain these two angles. I make x angle only and x angle only, and I make x angle only and x angle only. But I am ensuring that they are isosceles. Now we really do not know the formula for finding out the area of these isosceles triangles, but one thing we know for sure, that if two figures are similar, then their area ratio is square of their side ratio. We know that. I know that. Do you know that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So area of triangle 1 plus area of triangle 2 divided by area of triangle 3. Therefore, I can write divided by area of triangle 3 upon divided by area of triangle 3. I can put it like this, and I just want to add them, and I want to check whether this is question mark 1 or not. I want to do that. Therefore, this is the ratio I can always write. 1 area of 1 upon area of 3, is it going to be equal to c square upon a square? Because their sides are proportional CS to A. अरे समझते हैं क्या?
Yes, sir.
Plus 2 upon 3 is k square, b square upon a square, which is c square plus b square upon a square. Oh my God. Therefore, if Pythagoras theorem is true, so if Pythagoras theorem is true, copy, paste. If Pythagoras theorem is true, then that is equal to 1. It is better to write. It is better to. समझ ले तुम्हारा? Okay. Now let me use the third one. I will give you this board for copying after I finish my proof. But till then, you bear with me. Let me use the third. This is my third diagram. Okay. Now, let me draw, say, pentagon. Regular pentagon on this side. Regular pentagon on this side. And regular pentagon on the third side. Assume that these are regular pentagons. One side of regular pentagon is C. This side is B. This side is A. Now, if we join the center of this regular pentagon with the vertices of triangle ABC, this triangle 1, triangle 2 and triangle 3, they are similar to earlier figure. Now therefore, if I consider area of this pentagon is 1, this pentagon is 2 and this pentagon is 3, then do you agree that 1 upon 3 plus 2 upon 3. So we don't know how to find out area of pentagon. We don't know how to find out area of isosceles triangle also in this case. But we know for sure that 5 times area of this small isosceles triangle is going to be area of regular pentagon. So that 5 factor in the numerator, 5 factor in the denominator will get cancelled, and therefore eventually we will get c square upon a square plus b square upon a square is equal to c square plus b square upon a square. And if Pythagoras theorem is true, then the ratio is equal to 1. So what do we mean by that? If we draw regular pentagons on AB and AC and add their areas, it will be equal to area of regular pentagon drawn on BC. That is the meaning of this one. Numerator equals denominator. Earlier case also, isosceles triangle drawn on AB plus area of isosceles triangle drawn on AC equals area of isosceles triangle drawn on BC. So this is similar. Okay. Now let me use quickly the fourth one. Do I have few more? Yes. So
So just one thing.
bolo.
So in the pentagon thing, you have made some triangles. So to which point are they connected?
Center.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now this is our fourth diagram. Okay. So it seems that if I draw some similar figures, now let me draw a similar figure on this, the crown. Another similar crown. And yet another similar crown. We ensure that these whatever diagram that we are drawing here, similarity is maintained. That means whatever angle is this angle exactly equal to this, may be exactly equal to this. Corresponding angles are congruent, corresponding sides are proportional. And therefore, we can say that 1, 2, and 3, again, the ratio of areas are going to be the same equation, c square upon a square plus b square upon a square is equal to 1 if Pythagoras theorem is true. So it doesn't matter what you draw on these sides, provided those figures are similar. Suppose tomorrow, actually the next is say circle, semicircle I draw here, semicircle I draw here, and semicircle I draw here. This is 1. Now actually you can find out the area of semicircle. This side, this diameter is C, diameter is B, and this diameter is A. Therefore, what will be area of 1? C by 2 square, that is C square by 2 times 4 times pi, that is area 1, divided by area of 3, a square by 4 times pi plus pi b square by 4 upon pi a square by 4 is equal to c square plus b square upon a square. And Pythagoras theorem is true. C square plus b square is equal to a square, implies this is equal to. Array. So Pythagoras said you draw squares on the right angle triangle outside and you will get summation of area is equal to area on the similar figure of the hypotenuse. Okay. So this is the figure now, and maybe I will require one more, but that I will draw. What is this number now? Whatever, sixth. This is sixth diagram. Sixth diagram, I would like to draw in a hanky-panky color, but the thickness should be little less. I draw an amoeba. And I draw similar amoeba. And I draw similar amoeba. We are assuming that all these amoebas are similar. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Euclid is trying to say 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, not necessary for square, but every similar figure that you can draw on these non-hypotenuse sides, add their areas, it will be equal to the third area. But he is saying, provided such a bad ink, Pythagoras theorem is true. Right? But then why are we doing this? Every time we are ending up c square plus b square upon a square is equal to 1. We are writing if Pythagoras theorem is true. But what Euclid is saying that, okay, now the seventh one, okay, seventh diagram, suppose I have. Do you think that if I make this amoeba this side, amoeba on the other side this side, and amoeba on hypotenuse this side, will this continue to hold true provided Pythagoras theorem is true? I mean, don't mind to draw those similar figures whether inside or outside. Doesn't matter. Summation of the two is always going to be equal to the third. That is what he is trying to claim. But then unfortunately what he is doing is, he is using every time if Pythagoras theorem is true. That is the statement Euclid is using continuously. But then Euclid is Euclid. He says if you have a right angle triangle and if you can manage with two similar figures, three similar figures on the sides of equilateral triangle, and if you can ensure by measuring their areas, if you can ensure by measuring their areas, that means you measure the area of 1 plus measure the area of 2 and check whether it is equal to measure area of 3. By some other method, if you could show that this ratio is 1, not by using Pythagoras, by some other method, if you could prove this, that this is equal to 1, then will you agree that then Pythagoras? So if Pythagoras, then 1. What he is trying to say is, you achieve 1 by some other method, hence Pythagoras theorem will be proved. Right? So therefore he does something with the right angle triangle. That is what is 7. He does something with this right angle triangle and says, yes, therefore Pythagoras theorem is proved. This is where I am going to give you some time so that you need to find out what Euclid must have done to prove 1 plus 2 upon 3 is equal to 1 without using Pythagoras theorem. What Euclid did is drop perpendicular from right angle vertex onto hypotenuse. Area 1, area 2. Are these similar triangles? Yes. And are they similar to original triangle 3? Yes. Therefore, we are satisfying the above requirement that we are drawing similar figures on all three sides. May not be outside, but inside only. So because we are drawing all the three figures inside, adding their areas, and this area 1 plus area 2 is equal to area 3 is obvious. This is very easy. 1 plus 2 is of course 3, and therefore the ratio is bound to be 1, and hence Pythagoras theorem is true. So drop perpendicular from right angle vertex onto the hypotenuse is the statement made by Euclid to get the summation of area equal to the third area, and the theorem is true. Okay, let us do similarity proof of Pythagoras, Heron's formula. Similarity proof of Heron's formula. Now you should draw figure along with me because you won't get time afterwards. This is your I. B, this is D, this is your I1. C, this is D1, and this is IC. Prove that triangle IDC is similar to triangle I1 D1C. This is 90 degree. This is 90 degree. Suppose this angle is X. Then now I am supposed to ask you to think, but now this is elementary, therefore I am showing it to you. This is 90. Angle between internal angle bisector and external angle bisector is 90. Therefore, this is 90 minus X. And this is 90, therefore this is X. Therefore, by AA, these two triangles are similar. Therefore, ID upon I1 D1 is equal to DC upon D1C is equal to IC upon I1, maybe I1C. This ratio we will not require. What do we call ID as? We call ID as R. What do we call I1 D1 as? We call I1 D1 as R1. Correct? What do you call DC as S minus C? And what do you call CD1 S minus B? This implies R into S minus B is equal to R1 into S minus C. However, R is equal to delta. Is this correct? ID upon I1 D1. No.
Sir, I think the similarity is
Similarity and this is a complete mess up. The names are wrong and therefore I am getting some weird result. So you will have to wait for some time. And my Microsoft whiteboard is also behaving very badly. Delete. Okay, let me do it again. Green is not good color. IDC similar C
D1 I1.
I1. So ID upon CD1 is equal to DC upon I1 D1. Okay, so ID is R. CD1 is S minus B is equal to DC is S minus C upon R1. This implies RR1 is equal to S minus B into S minus C. But R is equal to delta upon S. R is equal to delta upon S. And R1 is equal to delta upon S minus A is equal to S minus B into S minus C. Is it okay? Therefore, delta square is equal to S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Heron proved. Heron's proved, hence proved. Whew.